So I'm guilty of going on another trip to Bargain Basement. I picked up this thing, an HP Vectra VL... oh geez, what's the model number on this? VL6 300, I would assume that's 300 megahertz. Desktop computer got here. It is a self-proclaimed Microsoft Windows NT compatible. It's got that old sticker on it. Probably ran NT 4.0 or something originally. It's got a Pentium 2 MMX in it. But yeah, this came out of that same recycling bin I got that IBM 5150 out of, which I still have to figure out what the deal is with that, with the hard drive in that. Although V Westlife suggested it could actually be that the drive is not temperature controlled, and it just needs to warm up first. So it's an interesting theory. I'll have to see if that does end up being the case. But for now, haven't had much time to work on it. Not to mention the fact that the OS on the hard drive is pretty useless to me, given it's proprietary for controlling a stepper motor. I'll need to get a DOS disk or something to boot that off of. There's a fan on over here. Why is this on? Doesn't need to be. It's probably just making a bunch of noise. But anyway, back to the subject of this video. Yeah, I got this out of that same recycling bin. There was a second one of these in here. This just seemed to be the... I didn't feel like I needed two of them. This just looked like the more interesting one. Down here, of course, we got the usual floppy drive. I think based on the front of this, I would think this is a Sony drive, I think, but I'm not sure. I'll have to double check that at some point. And then there's this CD drive. This is actually not the one that was in it when I got it. When I got it, this obviously not matching one was in it. It's by HL Data Storage. It did not appear to be working when I got the thing over here, so I actually found this one in the in WRUR's stash of random computer equipment. And actually, it looks like, based on the perfectly matching color, that drive may actually have come out of one of these machines. So I guess this is more realistic than that one. But other than that, it is one of the models with the lockout on the front, although I do not have the key to it. To open the case, you actually pull this thing, and then the whole shell of this thing slides forward. It's kind of annoying to do, but it makes for a nice little toolless setup. Back here, being the old computer that it has two serial ports. Parallel, PS2. What is down there? I cannot see. Oh, and then a stand-in for a VGA port. That's handled by this card here, though. And then there's a NIC back there that's been added into a PCI slot. And the power supply is at the bottom. So, either way, let's see if I can get this thing open. Oh, that ought to be fun. We'll move these wireless mic receivers and belt packs and whatnot that ended up on top of it. Pull that. Now we'll see if this thing feels like popping off. Okay, hang on. I'm gonna have to wrestle with this thing here. You grab a screwdriver. What did I do with it? I just had one. This ought to do the trick. Sounds like public safety is going after somebody outside. There we go. With me here. Now we'll just leave it like that. It seems nicely hung on. Whew. Got RAM back there. Looks like it. You know what that looks? Those look like DRAM, classic DRAM actually. Old school Sims, I think. Interesting. I would have thought there would be SD-RAM in this, but apparently not. I believe it has 192 megabytes, if I recall correctly. We'll find out when I boot it up. There's a Matrox video card back there, PCI. We have a couple combination PCI and ISA slots, and then one dedicated ISA. And by combination, of course, I just mean they share a bay on a slot on the back, so you can't. They're two separate slots, but you can't actually use them both at the same time. Got IDE everything basically. CD drive, floppy drive. Hard drive is a Western Digital WD300. That looks like it might have been replaced, actually. That looks newer than this machine. What else is there to see in here, if anything? It does not use a standard ATX power supply. Is that an old style, like AT connector? No, that's something entirely different. Might be proprietary, even. I'm not sure. If someone happens to know what that is, feel free to leave a comment. Has a slot-style Pentium 2 microprocessor in there. There was another card that was in here, actually, when I first got it. I pulled it out because I would never use it, just because I don't have anything to use it with. This thing here, a National Instruments ISA card, probably for interfacing with some kind of lab equipment. Seems to be a common theme with these computers that I get out of Bargain Basement, or at least out of that location of Bargain Basement. There's another location in one of the dorms. That location is IT's electronic recycling spot. So we'll close this up. It's nice, I can actually kind of do that one-handed. Should be connected to power still, so I just have it hooked up to this old keyboard, mouse, and monitor that I probably also trash-picked at various times. So now, without further ado, we'll go ahead and turn this thing on. Has the bicolor power LED, which turns orange when there's hard drive activity. HP Vectra. And now it's checking the memory. In fact, we'll go ahead and hit escape and see how much there is here. I believe it's 192 megabytes. It does actually have the actual 640K onboard RAM. Yep, 192 meg. Now it's initialized. Let's get this thing booting up. This will go when it feels like it. I was just checking to see if there was a disk in the CD drive. Why are we back here? Now we'll hit F1. I don't know what that was. Yes, and this thing has Windows 2000 on it. And it will be ready in whenever it feels like it. There it goes. Windows is starting up, and I will admit I did actually boot up a Linux CD on here and mounted the hard drive to see what was on it before booting into this. Go ahead and jump through that. I did boot it up to see what was on it before trying to boot into this. There wasn't much. There's basically the only thing on it is a copy of LabVIEW. So as such, I did end up booting the Ultimate Boot CD and clearing out the password on this so we could actually boot into Windows 2000. It does look like it was not set up to be on the university's domain. So it was a simple enough thing to do. Ordinarily, I would not do that because really there's no reason to. You might as well just put a new OS on it. But in this case, one, I don't have a Windows 2000 CD to reinstall with, and two, there's basically nothing on it. So I was just kind of curious what could be done with Windows 2000 on this. So for the time being, I just went ahead and cleared the password. Yeah, and then actually kind of funny story. Come over here, look in programs, accessories, games. It happens to include pinball, which for people around my age will probably very much remember that, especially playing it on the XP machines in school and whatnot. So soon after I brought this thing down here, it very quickly became the station's pinball workstation. It did not take long before there was a pinball tournament going on this thing. But yeah, so we can poke around here. Trying to do this backhanded here. See how much space is on this hard drive. Oh, I could have just looked over there. I forgot they used to do that. It appears to be a 4 gig drive. Interesting. Maybe it is original. I wouldn't have thought it was. It didn't look like an original drive, but certainly has about the capacity of an original one. Let's look at some system properties here. We have Windows 2000 Service Pack 4 is installed. Computer x86 Family 6 Model 3 Stepping 3. Interesting. AT compatible. Oh man. Yeah, I don't think this actually has real power management on it. Interestingly. Let's see. Hardware Device Manager. I want to see something while I'm thinking about it. Standard PC. See if this will... I'm not 100% familiar with this. Haven't dug around here a whole lot. But standard PC, interestingly, I think this is not ACPI compatible. Interesting. Computer's named Test 2. I don't know what that is supposed to mean. But go ahead and close that. But yeah, it's basically all it is. It's practically a fresh copy of Windows 2000. That's why I didn't mind resetting the password. But other than that, it's really all it is. But yeah, either way, the HP Vectra VL6. Yeah, there's really nothing else here. So thanks for watching, and hopefully there will be more fun stuff like this coming soon.